You're not supposed to see something get destroyed by something that shouldn't even exist. A black hole devours everything. A white hole refuses to let anything in. So what happens when the ultimate consumer meets the ultimate rejecter? That question breaks physics. Because one pulls, one pushes, and both might be the same thing, just at different times. But here's the strange part. Scientists don't even know if white holes are real. Yet the math says they should be. So imagine this. Somewhere in the universe, a black hole finishes its life. And instead of dying, it flips. Everything it ever swallowed explodes back out. Why would the universe do that? What is it trying to undo? And this is where it gets weird. If that's true, then every black hole is a ticking reversal, meaning destruction isn't permanent. It's delayed. So now the real question begins. If a white hole is just a black hole turned inside out, what happens if one meets its past self? Would they cancel out? Would they merge? Or would something far worse happen? And that's when things changed. Because the answer isn't just a collision. It's a transformation. But before that fight begins, you need to understand what each of them really is. Because one of them doesn't just destroy matter. It rewrites reality itself. And the other? It might not be a hero. It might be a time bomb. A black hole isn't just a cosmic vacuum. It's a trap with no exit. Everything that crosses its boundary is gone. Forever. Not even light escapes. But here's the strange part. Black holes don't just consume. They store. Every star, every planet, every particle, compressed into something infinitely dense. So where does it all go? That question has haunted physics for decades. And this is where it gets weird. Some scientists think nothing is truly lost. Instead, it's waiting. Waiting for a reversal. Enter the white hole. The exact opposite. Nothing can enter it. Everything must leave. Violently. Relentlessly. Imagine a point in space where matter explodes outward at unimaginable speed. No gravity pulling in. Only force pushing out. But that's not even the craziest part. The theory suggests this. A white hole is what a black hole becomes after unimaginable time. So the universe isn't destroying matter. It's recycling it. But if that's true, then every black hole you see is a future explosion waiting to happen. So now the stakes change. Because this isn't just a fight between opposites. It's a clash between past and future. And that's when things changed. Because if one is older, it already knows how the other ends. Now imagine this encounter. After millions, maybe billions of years, two forces drift toward each other. One still consuming. One already releasing. A black hole. A white hole. Face to face. But here's the strange part. The white hole should be unstoppable. It's ejecting matter at near light speed. Anything approaching it gets blasted away. So how could a black hole even get close? And this is where it gets weird. Gravity doesn't negotiate. The black hole pulls harder than anything pushes. So despite the white hole's violent output, it starts losing ground. Slowly, inevitably, the space between them bends. Time stretches. And then contact begins. But that's not even the craziest part. The white hole is forced to do the only thing it can do. Release more energy, more matter, more force. But every bit of that feeds the black hole. So the harder the white hole fights, the stronger its enemy becomes. And that's when things changed. Because this isn't a battle. It's a transfer. One is giving, the other is taking. And there's no equilibrium. So now the real question is, how long can the white hole last? Before it runs out of everything? This isn't a quick fight. It stretches across thousands of years. Every second, the black hole grows. Every second, the white hole weakens. But here's the strange part. The white hole isn't just losing mass. It's losing history. Everything it once consumed as a black hole is now being erased again. And this is where it gets weird. The universe might be undoing itself twice. Once when matter falls in, again when it's forced back out, only to be swallowed again. A loop of destruction. But that's not even the craziest part. The black hole doesn't just win. It evolves. With every burst it absorbs, it becomes more massive than before, more unstable, more dominant. And eventually, there's nothing left to eject. The white hole collapses, not with a bang, but with silence, consumed completely. And that's when things changed. Because now, this black hole isn't ordinary anymore. It carries the energy of 2 lifetimes. Its gravity warps space even further. Its reach expands beyond imagination. So now the real question becomes, what happens to a black hole that has already consumed its own future? What emerges isn't just bigger. It's something else entirely. A supermassive black hole, unlike anything nearby, potentially as large as entire star systems. But here's the strange part. It shouldn't exist, because it has already completed the cycle. It has consumed, it has released, and then consumed again. So what happens next? And this is where it gets weird. There may be no next phase, no transformation, no release, just endless consumption, a final form. But that's not even the craziest part. If something like this formed near us, we wouldn't see it coming. We'd only notice when stars start shifting, when light bends the wrong way, when time itself feels off, and then it would be too late, because nothing escapes twice. And that's when things changed, because now the universe has a problem, a black hole that might never become a white hole, a cycle that has been broken, or worse, perfected. So here's the question that refuses to go away. If the universe depends on balance, on cycles, on reversal, then what happens when one object breaks the rule forever? And if that's already happened somewhere out there, is the universe still stable? Or are we just waiting for something to finally push back?